Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this time you can actually hear me. My little thing is moving. I don't know. I don't know if that means you can hear me. Uh, Let me know. Maybe it's a silent thing again tonight. We're doing like a silent movie. That could be true. That could be true. We'll find out. We'll see if anyone can hear me. Hey, Mamma Mia, good to see you. I'm having some sound issues. Like I can't hear sound. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Oh, no, I'm okay. All right, I'm okay. Sorry, we had a bit of a technical thing when I first logged in. Hey, good to see you all. It is part two, like sort of like Ghostbusters 2, but I bet you it's probably going to be better than that because the first one was way better. Yeah, good to see everyone. Natasha, Permaculture, Gayla's here, Mama Mia, Lisa Foster. By the way, thank you to Lisa Foster for gifting a membership, and Danny Mitchell, Mr. Dan Yee. He has the hood hookup. He gifted two of them. That was very kind. That was very, very kind. It is great to see you. Great to see you all. Part two tonight. I think we've got a ton of stories to cover. As you can see, I was reading something before we came in. I was keeping up on this plane crash in South Korea. I think aviation has had a very terrible couple of weeks. We've had a plane crash in Kazakhstan. We had a plane crash now in South Korea. There was another plane crash today in Australia, a different one. It was a light plane, not a commercial jet. But we've had it just seems aviation's having a hard couple of weeks. They're not. Oh, geez, that they updated that about an hour ago. They said they had 29 confirmed dead in that South Korean plane crash. Now they're saying all but two passengers are presumed dead. They said the jet was carrying 181 people. If you minus two people roughly and some crew, what is that? 179 people now believed to have died in that South Korean crash. I think it's awful for their families, and I can't believe it. That is possibly one of the worst air disasters, in sort of the Western world, what sort of Western Eastern world, for a while, I would say. Yeah, apparently the airline, they replaced their website with a terse statement about the crash. They said, "We lower our heads in apology to everyone who suffered in the accident. We will do everything we can to deal with this accident." Thanks. That's a great statement. I appreciate it. No, like, we're sorry for the lives we killed. Our planes suck, and, you know, the landing gear didn't work, but, hey, almost 200 souls on board. You don't want to say sorry or anything. I think it's a very, very, yeah, terse statement. I agree. That is brutal. I can't imagine for the families of those people involved. That flight on its way from Bangkok to South Korea, now apparently it's a rescue mission to get all the bodies. So that's awful. IDing, and that's going to take ages. Uh, it really is a horrible crash. I can't, you know, we've all watched Air Crash Investigation, and what's the one thing you always think when you watch that show? You're like, oh, this happened in the 1960s. Why you don't have any from like 2008? Like, isn't that like a lot of them are from the early days? Not early days, but decades ago. Not really now. So they're saying 179 people now presumed dead in that crash. 179. Wendy asks, "Is terrible, but still safer than driving. These numbers are awful to come all at one time." Still safer than driving. I would say that statement was probably true in the 70s, 80s, and maybe 90s. Maybe even when Concords were around. I don't know about now. I wonder if that's slightly tilted a little bit. I know the averages of how many people fly a day versus global, crashes or whatever is probably very, very few, but been some pretty terrible crashes recently. Retired RN says, "Hello, Ping, and everyone in chat. Hello, good to see you." Marilyn Landis, good to see you too. Khalees is here. Wendy R, Mama Mia, Lisa. Did we say hello to everyone? I hope we did. Natasha's here. Hey, Natasha. Rachel's here. Who else do we have? Mr. Danier. Mr. Danier was here. Okay. We've got more things to reminisce about in 2024. 2024 has been. Oh, thank you, Reby. Yeah, thanks. Oh, yeah, thank you. I will do that. I will fix that. Thank you very much. We've had some crazy stories, including one that we're still following. I've been keeping up with information since I got back. I've been going through. A lot of people sent me stuff while I was away that I was unable to read. But Glitter sent me some interesting information about Jason Valiant, Jason Valiant out of Volusia County Corrections. He was the real estate agent who took power of attorney from a couple of gay men and basically let one of them die. Took off his do not, he put on a do not resuscitate order, basically let him die, and was going to steal all their property, to the point the surviving partner, because they were in a de facto relationship and not married as such, he wouldn't have seen anything of his dead partner's assets, and everything would have gone to Jason. One of the most heinous crimes, I think, cruel crimes that I think I read about in 2024. Glitter's saying that. What is Glitter saying? Glitter's saying he was moved. He's been moved a couple of times, and he was originally in Flagler County. I think from the information I can see here from my friend Glitter, it sounds like he got moved from. I don't know. Sounds like he got moved from Volusia County Corrections. I don't know why he's being moved around. I know he was originally in Flagler. Was transferred from Flagler to the custody of another facility. I don't know why he's being moved around so much, whether he needs to appear in court or there's no more information, just that the reporting agency was Flagler County, and then his actual agency that's in custody of the case is Volusia County. So I don't know if he keeps moving between both of them to be, I don't know, read something or to go to court. Who knows? But I hope he gets his justice, and quickly. He is a horrible, horrible human being. Horrible. I don't know how you can, with a clear conscience, steal from someone and have the balls to put a do not resuscitate order on someone that's not a living relative of yours, that you have no authority to do so, all to take a monetary gain. He was trying to steal property from them. He is just a piece of absolute beep. That guy can go to hell for sure. That guy can get effed. Let me just grab this. 45. Yeah. Volusia County. Let me find you something so I can get everyone caught up. Give me a second. Yeah, he stole $1.6 million of property and other assets. Here we go. Let's go to Fox News 35.
New details tonight about this realtor accused of stealing more than $1 million from a Volusia County couple. A new report says Jason Valiant allegedly used that money at liquor stores, grocery stores, and even dental offices. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay is joining us live tonight. So, Chris, deputies say it was his own girlfriend who busted him.
Yes, his girlfriend overheard some discussions between him and the other woman who was arrested in this situation. She says after the investigation was well underway, it was actually her statement that helped detectives piece it all together.
Here, how about him? What's your name, bud? Jason Valiant? Yes, sir.
An alleged scheme to steal over $1.6 million worth of property and other valuables came to an end during a traffic stop in Flagler County.
Fraudulent documents, power of attorney, DNRs, confiscating all those funds. No.
Volusia Sheriff Mike Chidwood says it all started in Daytona Beach when a realtor named Jason Valiant showed up to a hospital to visit one of his clients who'd fallen sick.
This guy was just a shark. He was just a predator circling, waiting for the minute there was blood in that water.
We actually spoke to Valiant on Thanksgiving Day on an unrelated story. During that interview, he praised the work of the Volusia Sheriff's Office.
They've been doing a good job at keeping everybody out.
Days later, he found out how hard they've been working when he was arrested on a bunch of charges. Deputies say it turns out in early June, when his client's health was fading fast, Valiant volunteered to make health-related decisions for him. To do so, he submitted notarized power of attorney paperwork. Less than a month after the document was turned in, Valiant ordered his client be taken off life support.
This is
They also believe, should that man be have kept on life support and continued medical treatment, he would have survived, or like there was a better chance he would have survived. Taking him off the life support killed him, basically. That guy is just... You have to be a certain type of heinous prick to do that to someone, for sure. Like, you people just don't walk around going, yeah, just slap a DNR on that guy. Let me just take all his fortune from his, living lover that is he'd been with for, a couple of decades. Yeah, let me just steal all their property because, I want it. I cannot wait till this guy goes to trial. I think he is the epitome of what is wrong with society. Greed, everyone out for themselves, and they'll step over anyone to get where they want to go. He wanted to use their property that they had to build like a condo and was looking for investment opportunities from people to fund that real estate development. It wasn't even his. It belonged to the dead man and his partner. I mean, finding that is awful. Danny Mitchell says, by the way, my friend was in a commercial airline crash, survived, and still flies. He has more balls than I do. I would never do that. No air fatalities in the US in the same year. Well, I didn't mean to say that the statistics mean it's not as safe as like driving or something. I just meant there has been a lot of accidents recently. So I don't know if that statistic has been bent a little bit compared to what it was many years ago. 1989, 11 people were killed in the crash in the United States. I can't believe there's been no air fatalities in America this year. I don't think that's correct, right? Wasn't there a famous dude that, wasn't there a Kennedy that died this year in a plane crash? In a light plane? Not a commercial, though. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. Retired says, what happens to make some people so horrible? Hey, I hope we're still here. We had a computer crash. The computer just shut down, and it just went black, and I had to wait for it to reboot. Sorry about that. New computer. Still got a couple of gremlins apparently. Still got a couple of things I might have to figure out. I think it overheated. I think I'm running too many things. I got to figure out why it's doing that. So It did this last night too. I'll have to find out what's going on. We're still here. We're still here. Hopefully, it doesn't do it again. Oh man, computers, computers, computers. We've had some bad computer issues recently. Um, yeah. All right. So let's go back to Jason Valiant, accused of stealing over $1.6 million from a sick client using fraudulent power of attorney. They also arrested another woman who was a part of this scheme to steal from people, and she was the one that was helping him sort of authorize a lot of this legally. And she hopefully she gets screwed over too. I'd like to see her get just done as well. She was a real estate agent. Her name was Constance Kellner, and she was arrested for accessory after the fact. Investigators said the scheme unraveled when Valiant's girlfriend reported overhearing conversations about buying the victim's oceanfront property for personal gain. Congratulations to that young lady for having one, ethics, and two, a conscience and knowing right from wrong and when to report someone, even if they're close to you. I think she showed outstanding, just personal traits. Way too good for that guy. Way too good for that guy. Whoever that young lady is, she deserves a nice guy who matches her same, moral standing. She really does. Very brave. Yeah, very brave to report someone who just put a DNR on someone to let them die. You have to have real conviction to come forward. So good for her. Ever since Trisha got Ed for Halloween, it has been a bit like that. Computer died, motherboard burnt out. Motherboard was less than a year old, and my RAM went too. I had to replace all the RAM. I had 64 gig of RAM. Two of the sticks died. Just would not work anymore. I tried moving them around. I tried putting them in a different computer. They just didn't work anymore. They kept erroring out and giving like an error flash. And I was like, what's going on? So I had to buy all new RAM, a new motherboard, new hard drive. I blame Ed too. Soon we can blame the new fish. We can blame Ping 2. I'm going to blame that one. Unplug it. Unplug the computer. Okay. Retired Iran says Trisha's fault. No, we're not going to blame Trish. Trisha's laptop too. It died. Really? Oh, I hope she's okay. I hope her laptop's okay. She didn't contact me. Oh, Ed isn't that doll she bought from eBay or whatever? I don't have a photo. If someone does, email it to me sundaywithping@gmail.com or Ah, computers. The hell. It died again, and then I was trying to get back into it, and it was like, "Do you want to go to BIOS? Do you want to go to the BIOS and change things?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to go to the BIOS. I just want to go back to Windows." Oh my god. We did the show yesterday, and everything was okay. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on. So let's continue in the hope that it doesn't die again. Oh my god. Bloody computer issues. Drone interference, that's right. It's all the drones that are really helicopters, that are really aeroplanes. That's what's going on. I didn't see anything, guys. I can't see anything back in chat. I can't see. I can see up to April B. This is the last comment I can see. So, all right. Let's keep going. All right. By the way, we do have an update in the Chloe Jade Mason investigation that I want to show you. Please don't die. I want to show you. Apparently, do you remember I said the other day that police don't say things for fun, that everything they say has a meaning behind it or a purpose? Well, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to tell you, is that they knew someone was there and they were looking for those people. They put out sort of like a warning. They did that press conference with the CCTV footage I showed you. And they were like, well, if anyone was there, you should, contact us on, our number. And then when they didn't contact, they're now like, well, we know who you are and we're going to put your photo out in public. So that's what they've done. Although they haven't provided names. So I don't know if they know all of it or they know more. How would you get the photos? This looks like an effing mugshot. What are they just like, yes, random floating head. We don't have a name though. It often comes to the station and just stands in front of our cameras. But we're not sure who this is. It's just some random floating head. But no, they are looking for these two people, two men, who they believe may have something to do with Chloe Jade Mason's murder the other week in Caboolture in Queensland. She was actually shot dead in the street. And there's that CCTV from the other day that we posted. So this is the one they posted the other day. They say here, investigations are ongoing with assistance from multiple witnesses. Well, it sounds like you probably know who those two guys are then. They're saying police believe it was not a random attack and the parties were known to each other. I'm sure that makes her family feel better. They say authorities are appealing for the two men to come forward. Yes, come forward. Don't be staying in pictures. Come forward and be in person. But there's one, Mr. Blurry Face here. May have a mustache. May have crazy eyes. We're not sure. The picture's a bit pixelated. Then this guy definitely has the crazy eyes, and he definitely needs a Bic razor. Someone please donate. This man needs a Bic razor. But they are definitely looking for these two in relation to Chloe Jade Mason's death in Caboolture. Yeah, lovely girl, 23 years old. And it says here, they're still looking for anyone who traveled down Railway Parade between 11:40 p.m. on December 21st to 12:15 a.m. on December 22nd and may have information regarding Chloe Mason's death. Sounds like they definitely have an idea of who these people might be. Obviously a criminal. I think he has the crazy eyes. Banjo music. I can hear it in my head. The banjos are going off. I can see the chat. I can't see too far. Like it's like when I log in, it just gives me so many messages. I can't go too far back. If I had stayed here for the whole show, I can scroll all the way back to the start of the show. All right. For the fourth time, we're back. Stupid thing, man. I don't understand what's going on. It shouldn't be doing this. It's a brand new install, brand new hard drive, brand new motherboard, brand new RAM. It shouldn't be crashing like this. It's got a 1,000-watt power supply. This thing's got enough energy to run your bloody camper van. I'm not sure what's going on. I've tried to change a couple of things because it seems to keep erroring out on the USB, like it's drawing too much power. So I've changed it to a different slot. We'll see. We'll see. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to pull this apart overnight and then have another crack at it and see what's going on. But yeah, Chloe Jade Mason 23. It is a really interesting update with these two men. I would like to see them brought in faster than this. What is going on? Screen sharing was what? Okay. Why can't we share anything? So we're having real gremlins tonight. I don't know what's going on. Give me 1 sec. I might have to jump out and back in. Hold on. All right. Let's see if we can get back to our... Okay, here we go. There we go. That's better. Okay. We're sort of dark. Jeez. I've done 500 shows on this channel. I've never had so many technical issues in one show. We've lost a microphone every now and then. We've had a power cut once or twice. Never 4 times in one show. But yeah, here we go. There's Chloe Jade there in that photo. Beautiful young lady, 23 years old, shot dead in the street. I think, like, is that what we want for our society? I don't care if it's targeted or she'd never met these two knuckleheads before. Don't really care. The fact that they felt it was necessary to execute her by shooting her in the middle of a railway parade in Caboolture, a 23-year-old woman, shows you the problems we have in society in a country that's supposed to have decent gun regulation. The saying they tell you is true. While the good people don't have any weapons because it's regulated, the bad guys still have weapons and no one can defend themselves because we don't have any. And women aren't even allowed to have pepper spray. So, by the way, that pepper spray petition, they never looked at it or gave a crap about it. They were just like, oh, you want pepper spray? You poor ladies being R-worded and SA'd and murdered? Nah, you can't have any of that. That's way too powerful for you little ladies. It's too big of a weapon for you guys. Not allowed to have that. You might hurt someone. You might upset someone's feelings with pepper spray. I mean, it's ridiculous. You should be allowed to carry it. If you can go down the store and buy a thing of fly spray, why can't you have OC spray or pepper spray to defend yourself? Like, give your people, give your citizens some way of protecting themselves. Yeah, actually, it's not. In WA, you can legally purchase it and get it shipped to Victoria. Just don't get caught and don't tell anyone Ping told you could do that. But there are websites where you can get it. It is ridiculous. It is. Who knows whether if this woman had a way to defend herself, would she have been able to? We'll never know because she wasn't given that opportunity. You can't de-weaponize your entire public and be like, do nothing about the bad guys who are 3D printing or 70% kitting or whatever, and just ghost guns and things like that, and being like, there's no firearm problem that we've ever heard of. We're going to look in this direction and just pretend like nothing ever happened. We're just going to, pretend like it doesn't exist. It's really, really a joke. Kaliza says, and the hurt feelings are all about all you'd accomplish with pepper spray, completely worthless. You ever had a face of OC spray? That stuff will have you on the floor crying and begging for water and milk. I've seen people get smashed in the face with it. I'm not sure if the cops will ever let you have it, but it'll get you. Lisa says my daughter needs protection. We have no guns. Yeah, only the bad guys have guns, and the 10 police that are in your area that are never there. Wendy R says she'll leave you defenseless. That's right. I'm not one to say that we should have like assault rifles or whatever, and everyone should be walking around with AR-15s. No, but you know, a way to protect yourself when the defining rate of female death in Australia is men, often ones they know. You should be able to give them a way to, like, if you have a guy who's attacking you and you're like, wait, I have to get to the telephone. I have to call the police so that they can come here and arrest him because he's violated his court order, his order of protection. I'm just going to wait here for 45 minutes while they come out and he's beating the crap out of me with a friggin' whatever. I'm going to wait here so they can enforce this court order. You should be dead long before you even got there. Like what happened in Morty Alec. That woman, long dead, before they even realized what was going on. And they had a protection order against that guy. She was dead, like dead as a doornail before they even realized. It's a joke. Gayla says a bit of spray is better than a bullet or a blade. Hey, they have a lot of knife crime. Kaliza says, and hurt feelings. Yeah. I just believe that we should be given a way, especially for women, if they feel unsafe, should be given some opportunity to, I don't know, have something, anything. I don't care. Go down and get a can of WD-40 or something. I'm sure that would sting like hell if you got it in your eyes. Anything. By the end of the clip, the sirens can be heard in the distance. Yes. That is that CCTV. I'll show it to you again. I have shown it a couple of times, but we can watch it again. If I can put this up here without us dying again. Let's see if we can get that. This one? Okay. CCTV released. Okay. All right. We're having great fun today. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We seem to be having more craziness. Actually, I'm just going to go to the YouTube thing and do it here. So what you're hearing here is you're hearing the this is like a camera nearby. To me, when I've listened to this audio, it sounds like it's coming from far away and that they've audio boosted it. I don't know if that's true, but to me that's what it sounds like, that they've in their editing of it, because some of it is muted out, that they've also upped the levels to make it somewhat audible. I'm not sure if that's true, just it's what it sounds like to my ears. But you'll hear a guy talking to her, and you very briefly hear her voice a couple of times. So let me know what you think she says or they say. less than a minute later, if you see the time at the top here, it's 9 minutes past midnight at the time. They believe she was shot dead at 10 past midnight. So less than a minute after this point right now, she's deceased, basically. She's been shot. We don't have that bit of it that's been cut out. Yeah, I hear get back, and then I hear something. She says something in about 30 seconds ago, but it's really hard to make out. Very hard to hear the English, like what she's trying to say. I don't know if they've done that on purpose, muffled it, and made the man's voices easier to hear. Police like to fiddle with CCTV, like this one. They've muted stuff and cut things out. You actually hear her talk, and it sounds like she goes like this. She goes, "How do," and then it goes silent. Like there's words there, but they don't want you to hear it. There's something there that they're not willing to share with the public right now. All right, let's listen to the one minute, one more minute, and she's no longer with us anymore.
Thank you, Sean. Yes, mate.
And then it goes silent for the rest of this video. And as you can see, the clock here up the top, it's 9 minutes and 54 seconds past midnight. Not too long after this, or just before this, I'm not sure because they've muted a couple of bits. She is attacked and fatally killed. I could hear something just before, about 20 seconds ago, in the audio, and you hear them having some sort of argument. It's so hard to make out. It's very, very muffled. And you hear her sort of like say something back to him. He said something to her, and she's very angry and saying something. And then he's like, "Well, why don't you come up here," or something. That's what I heard. Like, "Why don't you come up to the house?" or "Why don't you come up here?" I couldn't quite make it out. April says, "Does sound like they've made the audio louder." I hear F her that time. Yeah, they've definitely manipulated the audio. I can hear it in bits where some things sound quite clear and they've raised that audio, and then other bits they've not done the same treatment to it, and it sounds like it's further back in the like background. He says something, then mate. All right, let's go back 20 seconds and see if we can. Let me slow it down. We can do that on this one. Let's slow it down by 25%, and let's see if we can try and make it out.
Thank you, Sean. Yes, mate.
That's very interesting. That last bit right there, that definitely sounds like some sort of interference, something they don't want us to hear. Let's go back further. It was much easier to hear when it was slowed down. When it was slowed down, it was much easier to hear, to make out the words. Just show up to my... Yeah, that's sort of what I heard too. Something about come to the house, or come up to the house, something like that. He says it a couple of times. All right, let's go a little further back.
Thank you, John. Yes, mate.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the bits where they have manipulated the audio to sound better, and then there's other bits where I don't know if it's deliberately degraded or they just haven't given it the same treatment, but there's definitely bits there that they don't want you to hear. I don't know if it's evidence or part of their case. Who knows? They often have reasons for this type of stuff. Eventually, we'll hear the unedited version. Yeah, something like there's a bunch of stuff. Definitely I heard that, come up to the house, mate, or just come up to the effing house and stay back then, woman, you hurt him. Yeah. April says I heard B word. It's hard. Yeah, isn't that dog annoying? It's like the ultimate get out of jail free card. It's like have a barking dog. You won't be able to hear crap. April B says I heard bitch, and yeah, it's hard with the dog barking, name calling going on. Yeah, there's definitely some sort of argy bargy going on between the group here. I hear come back a few times, a few other things. It's a little hard to make out. Anyway, it is much easier to hear when it's slowed down, but I would like to know why they wanted to focus on those specific phrases compared to there are some other stuff you can hear, but it's not as well cleaned up as some other parts. Yeah, the dogs are a bit annoying. But hey, look, I am pretty sure, like the cops said the other day, they said, we believe this case is going to be solved sooner rather than later. And I think they already have a fair idea of who was involved in this particular case. And that's true with the photos released today of the two knuckleheads over here who they would like to speak to. These two guys here. Mr. Crazy Eyes over here and Mr. Pixel Face over here. They would like to speak to both of them in relation to her death. So, yeah, it's definitely a confrontation. I don't know, but they said it's targeted. What you want to take out of that? Whether it's a prior, some sort of they knew each other as acquaintances through other people, friends, her ex-boyfriend. So one of the interesting things we read about was she had a partner who died a couple of years ago as well in a violent crime. So it's interesting. Yeah, so there is a family that lives across the road who, according to the police reports, were witnesses. Whether that means these two guys, someone else, or just a family that lives across the road that witnessed it, I don't know. But they did show on one of the news reports people being arrested and taken down. Like, how often do you hear of a witness being put in the back of a paddy wagon and taken to the station to have a statement taken? They don't normally do that. They normally just like sort of sit in your lounge room and, record you and write a few notes. They don't need you normally down at the precinct. I found that a little strange. I think it's ridiculous. 23 years old, should have been doing whatever 23-year-olds do. What is that? I don't know. Not 23. I have no idea. But whatever she wanted to do with her life, she should have been doing it. And shouldn't have been shot dead in her street. It shows you that the ways women are killed, if you want to use Australia as a small sample size compared to the USA or other places, it varies, but it's always done by a guy. It's always done by a male, but it varies in the way it works. So this one's a gunshot. There's been ones in a home. But I will show you very, very quickly this before we move back to 2024 cases. We're often going about, oh, men killing women, and as a guy, you might be like, ping, but you're a guy. Doesn't that annoy you that you constantly keep getting the finger pointed? But no, because I'm not that type of guy. I'm happy to point it out because I'm not the one going out there killing women. And, happy to point out the ones who do so they can piss off and get out of our society. But I wanted to show you this because it doesn't happen that often. Hold on. Woman. A rarity here. Doesn't happen that often. So here, we're going to go to channel 9.
Shocking case of festive season family violence has left a man dead and his partner facing a murder charge. The woman allegedly stabbed the victim at their Ballarat home, his body found on the front lawn. Chester Nam reports.
A mother's anguish in a quiet neighbourhood. Her son stabbed to death, his partner in police custody.
It's terrible. I can't believe it. It's happened. So, yeah, it's very, very sad.
It's believed the 47-year-old man was stabbed in the chest while he was sitting on the couch. The horrific attack unfolded while a young child was present inside the home.
I've certainly met the gentleman whose name eludes me at the moment, but he seemed okay. I know he used to like going fishing and stuff like that.
Emergency services rushed to the property in Mount Helen near Ballarat around 8 this morning. They found the man with critical injuries outside the house.
Sort of a state of disbelief, really. It's a quiet neighbourhood. We don't get anything like this really happening.
Paramedics tried to perform CPR, but sadly, he couldn't be saved. His 38-year-old female partner was arrested at the property and is being interviewed by homicide detectives. Forensics officers spent most of the day examining the scene and bagging evidence, a mobile phone among the items seized. It's the second alleged domestic homicide in just a few days after a Langwarrin man was charged with his wife's murder on Boxing Day. Detectives here are trying to piece together what led to this deadly attack.
I'm shocked. Yeah.
I just thought I would show it to you because, not that I'm trying to defend the boys or anything, I just thought it was interesting that sometimes we do see DV violence go the other way, where the perpetrator is a female onto a male. And it doesn't happen super common. I think the statistics are something like for every 80 females that are killed, there's like one male killed by a female, like in a DV situation. So it's completely outslanted for women dying than men, but it just shows you that DV doesn't always happen by the same rhetoric or the same way. Sometimes it can happen even in female on male crime. Even though we went through the statistics the other week and we showed you how men are normally killed with murder, and we showed you how women are normally killed with murder, and these were 100% official statistics from Australia, and it's very different how men and women are killed between each other. Men are killed in a very fragmented way. It's many small things, as where women are almost exclusively killed in DV situations. Like it's almost like 90 something percent it's a DV murder, as where men are killed in various ways. It's like gang activity, it's some guy shot his friend or whatever. It's 20 different things, very, very different. It is somewhat rare. Again, that's the point here, right? Still a child, doesn't matter which way it happens, still a child is going to lose both its parents. So that's a child who's never really going to have a proper family, or hopefully there's some good relatives who will take that child in, hopefully, and look after it so it doesn't end up in the system. That would be a tragedy on its own. It would be very horrible. And the child was there. He was stabbed in the chest on the couch. Like, very just something happened, an argument, some sort of flare up, and she was doing something and just straight in the chest. Women hardly ever kill strangers. Yeah. Women are very vindictive. They tend to kill people that piss them off. Could be professional, could be like family members. It's very different the way men will just pick up a gun and shoot someone. As what sometimes women take a lot more planning, and things like poisonings tend to happen quite frequently with women. It's very different. Reby says, hello everyone. Hello. I saw your email. Thank you. I will change that over at the end of the show if we don't crash again. If we don't crash. So there's your updates for those two. So where did we end up last night in our look back on 2024? I think we were looking back at, it was the Tennessee case. Hold on. Trinity Bostic. We spent quite a lot of time on this, trying to figure this out the weekend that she died. And she's a beautiful young lady, really, really pretty. Not that that should be any sort of prerequisite on, doing your story or something like that. But just, it's hard to deny. She is a very, very nice young lady. With her murder, just so brutal for a young, even the perpetrator's young, 17 at the time, now charged as an adult, and he'll go through adult court over these charges of killing Trinity, leaving her body in the side of a road for someone to discover with a bullet wound in her head. I don't know how you tell her family that that's how she died. I think her, I don't even know how to explain that, except for this case drew out some very strange things. And I can tell you that I saw one person writing false allegations online. They ended up being arrested for false reporting in the Trinity Bostic case. I saw another person who was actually closely linked to the perpetrator's friend group or relationship, and they were posting on Reddit about the perpetrator and themselves. This case was so strange because a lot of the people that were close to the perpetrator were posting on Reddit and like leaving these clues here and there. It was a real funny weekend for it. Reby says, I've been putting all this merch across. Okay, all right. I'm happy to listen to your idea, like any good businessman. If you have a business plan, I'm happy to listen to it. All right. Yeah, let me play this for you. So we all go back and remember what happened here. I think it's worth remembering. And it's just a awful death. One of the ones that we spent quite a bit of time on back in August, September, July. I can't quite remember. I think it was September. September. Ping's so bad with dates. All right, just watch the report.
A 17-year-old girl is murdered in Hendersonville last June. Tonight, for the first time, we hear from her mother.
Back in June, Trinity Bostic went missing from Macon County. 4 days later, her body was found in Hendersonville with a bullet wound to her face.
In an interview only on News 2, Trinity's mother tells News 2's Kendall Ashman that the suspected killer was an ex-boyfriend, and while she wants justice in this case, she's also wishing an Amber Alert had been issued for her daughter.
My daughter was an angel. She was just one of a kind little girl.
Shelby May FaceTimed us next to her daughter's grave. She tells us she comes here every day.
Kind of helps me face reality that she's not coming back.
It was on June 29th. Trinity went missing from her home in Macon County. Police then entered her as a missing person, and a bolo was sent out. Her body was found 4 days later in Hendersonville. Trinity was found with a bullet wound in her face.
So we had to bury her with a post casket. We couldn't even say goodbye to her. We all just kissed the casket. That's what hurts the most too. Is I couldn't see my little girl's face for the last time.
Hendersonville police named Fernando Perales Mejia as a suspected killer. Police were able to trace Mejia and Trinity's phone records together on the day she went missing. Those same records also show their locations around the area where Trinity was found. During a search, they found a go bag of Trinity's belongings in Mejia's home and a gun in his car.
They never issued an Amber Alert on her at all. After 24 hours, they still didn't. For 48 hours, they still didn't.
A spokesperson for the Making.
That was one of the criticisms of the PD, was they were slow to react, and their excuse for that was, oh well, we didn't think anyone outside of the county would care, so you know, we just put out a bolo internally, and we just thought that was enough. You know, we don't want to worry our citizens. It was a really lame excuse. They were saying some crap about, it doesn't matter. You know, we didn't think she'd be outside of the county, and it's like, what? Do people not travel? Do people not go to different places in Tennessee? Do they not go to the next neighboring? Do they not have family that live nearby? It was really a very odd excuse, very strange, considering this was an underage girl who had been missing from her home for a period of time. And they had some information on who she might be with, and they decided to downplay it and only issue it after public pressure came out that they started releasing stuff on Facebook at the time. So, yeah, I don't know if her case fully met an Amber Alert. I'm not saying that her mother's wrong. Her mother probably knows more than I do. But I don't know if it fully met the requirements that you need it. So I don't know if they had a car, a license plate, things like this. I'm not sure. But they could have done something like a clear alert, or I'm not sure if Tennessee has the other one where it could be just someone's in danger. They could have just done something like that and found some medical issue she had to say, oh, she had a medical issue, and put the alert out, which has happened a few times. TBI, they definitely have a definite problem. They have one of the largest ongoing cases of missing children anywhere in the USA. They have something like one of the most open cases of missing children in the United States. It's bizarre. For such a tiny state, they have so many missing children that they've never been able to recover, never been able to close off the cases. And we've seen just this year with Sebastian Rogers, they've not been able to do anything with that either. They're just like, oh yeah, we searched. We investigated the family. Well, where is he? Oh, I don't know. Did you find him? Nah. Did you check other places? Yeah, we checked. Any leads? Nah. We're going to keep looking? Nah, we're going to call off the search. So it's almost a year later for Sebastian, and they don't have anything. I hope you have fun, Lisa. I hope you have fun. I think I was supposed to be on there. I don't know if we're doing that anymore. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to do our show here. I haven't heard from anyone yet, so maybe not. We'll find out. I don't know. I told Trish I'd help her if she wanted it, but I haven't heard anything back. April B says the TBI isn't good. Don't go missing in Tennessee. Let's see. Some kind of alert should have been issued to get her picture out there. Exactly. They did a Facebook post, and that was like it. And they did that bolo, be on the lookout internally through their agency. That was it. Oh, she did? Okay. She's probably just busy. Sometimes we get our we you know what we do? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you a web sleuth's secret. We actually communicate telepathically. Oh my god, it's out there in the public now. It was woo-woo Saturday night, and now you know. It's just like this, just like a bit like this, and we sort of get it. She said I was all right. She just assumed you were to be on. Okay. No. We talked about this already. She emailed me last week. Not assumed. We spoke about it, but there was just some details that we hadn't worked out yet, and I just hadn't heard back. I said yes. She asked me. I said yes, but in my crazy week and her crazy week, we hadn't done, you know, the crossover and the T's and the I's and the 9:30 or 10:30 or what day is it? Sometimes. Residual woo-woo from Trisha. That's right. Residual drone energy. Oh my God. Anyway, Trinity Bostic. I am still working on this particular case. I have another case that I've actually got two that I've been sort of pushing on for about 6 months now. One I've been working on since October. Another one I was contacted, or they doesn't matter. A person reached out. They want me to look at a specific case. I'm still working through all the documents. It's got this huge amount of documents, and a lot of them are medical evidence. So I'm still looking at it all. And we should be doing a show on that in the new year. I've still got to talk to this lady and figure out a few things, but she wants some help. So we've got two different stories that are coming up, hopefully soon, that you guys will find very interesting. I need you to come on and join Sean and I on the Aussie cases. What time? You guys will have to let me know. 11 p.m. Eastern. What time is that? 11 p.m. is it midnight? So 3 p.m. Australian time. Okay, 3 p.m. Yeah, I can't give too many details right now, but one is an unsolved death. That's the way I'm going to pronounce it, and I'll tell you more later on. An unsolved death. The other one is completely different. It's got nothing to do with murders or anything like that, but it's something very interesting that you guys will like. I'm trying to push on this particular person to come and join us, but so far we've had a bit of resistance. So we'll see. We'll see. Getting interviews for certain things are a bit of a pain in the bum. But I am still very, very active with Trinity Bostic's case. We've requested paperwork a couple of times, been denied a couple of times, and still working on it because I don't think her killer should just be able to sit in jail and hide behind his age of 17. I think he's older, might be a bit older now. But he shouldn't be able to sit. If you charge him as an adult, then his paperwork should be open to the public. You can't just play the game where it's like, oh, he's 17, but he's really an adult. We charge him as an adult, but we're going to hide behind the fact that he's actually underage. You can't do that. It's ridiculous. So hopefully we'll have more on Trinity in the future. Hopefully that absolute loser of her killer will go to trial at some point next year, and we'll get to show you more about him because he definitely deserves a very large, very hot spotlight on him for being such an arrogant person. I'm going to say person and not the word I want to use for what he did. So we'll see in the new year. I was telling someone today, I was speaking in PM to someone, and I was detailing a few of like what we're doing between January and like April, and they were just like, oh my God, it's going to be a busy 2025. It is going to be a busy 25. We have like 5 or 6 trials coming up between January and April, and we just have 1,000,000,001 things to go through. Let's see. April says, that's true. Hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah, he's an adult. If you charge him as an adult, what is he? What is he? Is he a child adult? Is he an adult child? Like, what is it? You can't be like, we're great people and we're going to charge him because he did such a heinous crime, and he's definitely going to be charged as an adult, but we're going to hide behind the fact that he's a child. No, you can't do that. So we're going to work on that in the new year too. I want to get more of this investigative documents about what happened in the early days of Trinity's case. I need to bring it to you. I wanted to show you more about that investigation and find out what went wrong, because something definitely went wrong. She should have been found sooner. I have a black-eyed person story. Almost sounds racist unless I knew the context, but now I know the context. It's okay. Depending on your plan for New Year's Eve. I have no idea what we're doing. I have no one tells me anything until the last minute. I'll speak to Trish and then I'll find out what's going on, and then we'll go from there. I'm happy to help her. If she wants help, I'll help her. Anytime, any day. Okay. All right. We have so many more. I was trying to think of some more interesting cases that we did in 2024, and we had Sebastian Rogers. I think that was a big one. Elijah Vu. I think that was one of the biggest this year. The heartbreaking discovery of his body late in the year after being missing for about 9 months, and then hearing finally, once they charged his mother and her boyfriend with his death, some of the more what would you call it, like disturbing allegations against Jesse Vang and Katrina, I think was just heartbreaking to see what his final days on earth were actually like as that small child. I mean, all he wanted to do was please his mum and her and his partner. Her partner, and he was trying to train him like a militant. Yeah, mom to cuffle butt, I think is. I would still wish we could find her. I really hate the theory that's going around. I hate that. I want her to come home. I remember the first article we read about her was just that this woman had gone missing out of the area, and we're like, a woman gone missing? Her husband waited 9 days to report her missing? When we're all sitting here going, that doesn't sound right. Are you sure about that? And then the further we dug into it, I just knew that there was something wrong. You don't wait that long. I don't care. Like, I don't care if you divorce your wife. Say you divorce your wife. You hate her guts. You think she is the biggest B word in the world. If she went missing, I'm sure you would still report her missing, all right? She's the mother of your kid. I don't care if you think she's the biggest evil dragon woman on earth. You would still have some, respect there because she is the mother of your child to report her in a reasonable time frame. If you just went there and your baby was there and she was gone. So I don't buy his argument that, we were separated, so I don't care what she did. We just lived in a house, we're just roommates. No, it's not okay. And it came across very quickly that he's just a low-life piece of crap, and can't wait for him to go to trial either. Susan Simpson was very close to the end of the year. Still have not found her either, which is devastating. But Mamta's one is, I love that the whole community rallied around to not only support Mamta, but uplift her child until family could be there. I think that shows real community, and so many people came out to either search for her, picket the court dates, and show him that the entire area and abroad they knew what he was. He couldn't hide what he had done to his wife. Everyone knew. It didn't have to be said by the police. Everyone knew what he had done. They didn't need a statement. They knew. And I love that about that community. Every time I see them stand up there for her and present themselves is one of the greatest things I watch in true crime every month. Juicy Joel says mental illness all over. We use pepper spray in the USA. Oh, is she really far back? She might be really far back. April says, I want to see the unique traditions like the potato festival thing. We will definitely go to Idaho for the potato festival on New Year's. That is a great thing. Yeah, the potato drop in Boise, Idaho. We will be doing that. I promise. We did it last year. We'll do it this year. I mean, what a great place where they don't have a bowl, or what do they have in Texas? They have that thing in Texas that goes down very similar to New York. No, we have a potato. I love it. And they do like a what do they call it? Like a snowboarding competition too. They have the potato drop and they have a snowboarding competition in town. I think it's one of the greatest things ever. All right, let's go to Mamta because I want to talk about that. Let's watch just for a couple of minutes because, I like to be angry about things. I think it's, I don't know why, I just do. But seeing her ex-husband, husband, whatever you want to call him, loser that she unfortunately was with, seeing him talk to police for the first time is one of the greatest videos I think I've ever watched, because you can just tell how full of shit he is, like the whole way through, and it's great. Hold on, let me find it. All right, Naresh, we're coming for you. Let's find it. Here it is. We could do this one. Yeah. This is from, I have to say this for legal reasons. This is from WUSA9, WUSA9.com, and their YouTube channel, which I will link in the description and in the chat. And I'll have to put up a banner. Hold on. Because that's what their lawyers told me I have to do. Chad's portal. This is the link to this particular video, and I will put up this thing here. Unfortunately, this is what you have to do now. All right, there we go.
Oh, someone coming to the door now. Is it her? Okay. Oh, no.
Hello, sir. How are you? I'm Officer of the Human Park, please. We're looking for Miss Mamta Kafle.
Yeah, she like on Tuesday, Wednesday, she left and then she says she's gonna go either New York or Texas, and then she left she had the phone and then she destroyed that phone and then she left.
So she destroyed the phone and she left. She said she was going to New York.
Yeah, her sister, one of her sister.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have any other contact information?
Yeah, I like she has a different 3 phones. I do have 2 phone numbers. One phone number somebody other receiving, one another for.
Oh, one of the greatest parts of this video, if it wasn't such a horrible murder, it would almost be a comedy. When he opens that door, you can see just his life flash before his eyes, and he just starts stumbling on his words, like instantly. He's like, you can see his mind working like, oh crap, now I got to make up crap very quickly. And he's like, and I went left and I went right, and it was a Thursday, but it was a Tuesday, and she had like 3 friends with 2 phones and 7. You know, she dialed 7 people, and her sister came, but 2 of her sisters, they live in New York, but one of them lives in Texas. And, you know, it was a Thursday, but I reckon it was probably a Tuesday. It was 9 o'clock, but it could have been 1 o'clock. That's the way he talks throughout the entire thing. And you can just tell he is racing the entire time, trying to just cover up his own BS. The entire time he's trying to figure out a narrative. You would think for a guy who murdered his wife, or allegedly, but we all know what happened. You would think he would have spent a little bit of time after murdering her and disposing of her remains, you know, after cutting her up in the bathtub, apparently. He would have thought out a very well thought out theory and something to tell the police, but he is stumbling from the get-go here. These cops are not even investigating. They're just coming as a welfare check. They're not looking for nothing. They don't even investigate this at all. They're recording, but they don't ask really any investigative questions. They're just looking for her. They're just sort of a first contact. That's all it is. Investigation sort of hasn't started yet. They're just sort of reaching out. Have you seen her? No. Okay. But he is just falling over himself the entire time. Let's watch a bit more.
Contact number for the New York I do have.
Okay, can you show me that, please? Can you
Can we get those numbers? Can we get those phone numbers from you?
Yeah, we just want to see if she's okay because we have an employer calling.
Hi.
Did she say why she left?
Yeah, because you know, we are about to separate, and then the home inspection come here to. I'm about to sell the home, so you know, like she wanna say like, okay, I wanna go, you know, with my sisters, and then she used to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
And then sometimes I don't know where. You can come inside or I can come outside.
It's up to you, sir.
Up to you, sir. Yeah.
And you know, like.
feel like at that point, it's like, bro, invite them in so they can see your blood-stained bedroom. Do that. Tell them to come in. Show them your artwork.
She used to live in a Falls Church. I don't know the exact address. I know the building because I noticed there because I saw her email, and then one place over there, and then I don't know somewhere in Manassas because on the 8th, I think like on the 8th she started a job.
Last month?
No. Yeah, last month. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. On the 8th, so I'm not working since that. She say like she gonna be stay there, and then once she gonna be everything settled down, she will take the baby. She not gonna leave the baby with me. That's what she said. I know the building in Falls Church where she was. Still, she's living over there or Texas because I already conversation with her sister. She just did not reply me, and then she was asking me, and then her mom.
The guy just says words. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's like, oh, and I spoke to the sister and it was an apartment. It was over there. I know which one. And then I replied to her and it was over there. He just don't even know what he's talking about. He's ridiculous. He is ridiculous. He is like the worst liar I've ever heard. I think Erin Patterson might be a better liar. And I caught her like that as soon as I watched that one video. He is terrible. You can tell he is just full of BS the entire time, and he is scrambling. You can see it. It's at one point when he first opens that door, you can see his eyes and his mind. He's like, oh crap, the cops are here. Oh, now it's real. Now I've got to get going. I've got to start thinking up crap. And you can see, because that's not what a real person would do, right? If your wife really went missing and she really disappeared, you wouldn't have that at the door. You'd be like, oh my God, thank God the cops are here. Oh, please help me. I don't know where she is. Even if you are estranged or whatever, it doesn't matter. And you wouldn't have this response. It would be much more calm. It would be much more straightforward. Hey, I haven't seen my wife. She went missing on X date. I need your help. Please find her. Like, I've got a baby. She really needs her mom. It wouldn't be like this, and it speaks so much, speaks volumes when you watch this video, even though my dumb ass is talking. All right, hold on.
And then her mom is also asking for me. I don't know where is she.
Okay, so if you could give us the phone numbers, please. We want to see if we can make contact with her.
This is not the first time. Multiple times she go and then come back in a few days.
Okay.
I don't have the phone number for her sister. Usually I have
So you don't have the phone number for the sister that you replied to, that you said you spoke to, and that you said you knew where she went, but you just don't have a contact for her. So how did you guys talk? Do you guys talk like with telepathy? Is that how it works? Or are you just absolutely talking crap because she didn't have any living relatives in the USA at the time? That's more. Oh, that's the truth? Okay, all right, cool. We're cool.
Facebook, but I don't have her phone number.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. So, that's what, I replied 2:23. Usually she works Thursday to Saturday. She works there. And then, it's not like first time she disappear and then come back. I live with my parents over there. She say okay, I'm not going to live with your parents. My parents left back home. And then, still a lot of she going. She got the green card already. And then she was about to, yeah.
Okay. When she left, was she? Did you say anything about hurting herself or anything concerning?
No, because if it's the first time, then I can say, oh, okay, where are you going? This and that. This is multiple times. I don't know, who call you, but sometimes she came back, and then most of her stuff, regular stuff, she already, I think in March, she already take regular stuff, regular wearing, regular shoes. This is her shoes even, But the regular things, she already take it. But the normal thing, fancy wear, a suits, special wear, still we have here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get your phone number, sir?
Yeah.
And do you have ID on you?
Yeah.
Okay. Just get that. Yeah, we'll get it all at once. So we don't have contact. I mean, what I'm thinking is if maybe get his info and could tell us to give us a call if she comes back.
Yep, get his info. Sounds like they're going through a divorce, so she decided to go to New York with her sister.
See, this is where the cops would have probably, any information he told here, this is where they would have started trying to build their case. They would have gone, well, what sister? Let's try track her down. Well, there's no sister. Okay, well, he's lying. We already figured that bit out. And then his world just collapses very quickly. Even tries to sell this property. He did sell his car. And when they eventually arrested him, there were suitcases that were half packed and passports in the home. You could tell he was definitely looking to flee because of what he'd done. That's it. And he left behind an awful mess that we've seen the photos of, which was that bathtub and that carpet. I mean, he's in a world of trouble. Thank the Lord. But yeah, he ain't getting out. Thank God they moved up that murder charge a few weeks ago too. I don't think they ever really wanted to go to trial on that original charge. That original charge was literally just, again, a holding charge. They thought they were going to make this particular homicide case a lot quicker, and I just don't think it came together the way they thought it was going to, and it took a lot longer. I think originally when he was charged, they thought maybe a few weeks and they would find Mamta and then be able to build the case for a murder charge with a body case. But unfortunately, it's not going to go that way right now. They're now looking at doing a no body trial. So I think there's enough here. I think he's pinned. I don't think he's going to be able to get out of this. By the way, does this seem like a guy who needs an interpreter, by the way? Does he seem like someone who can't understand instructions or would not be able to instruct his own lawyer? Because what did the cops ask him to do? They said, do you have ID? Can you go and get your ID? What did he do? He went and got his ID. That's not too much more difficult than what you need to tell your lawyer in court. It's sort of like, yes, no. They explain a situation to you. You say, yes, proceed. No, don't do that. He does not need an effing interpreter. That is just some sort of freaking delay tactic or whatever. Like we tracked down, he'd even listed himself as an interpreter himself on a couple of websites. So he's just using, I don't know, wasting court time or something. Marilander says he definitely understands he doesn't need an interpreter. That's right. He understands perfectly. No shadow of a doubt. He gets what's going on and he's able to direct and take direction. He doesn't need that. And that is just a waste of court time and court money, process, other people working. Because apparently they found it very hard to find a Nepalese interpreter. They had to call around and they had to bring one in and they blah, blah, blah. Apparently it was a bit of work. And I guess they just didn't want him to have any excuse when they finally did go to whatever trial, whichever one was going to happen. And they just didn't want him to have any reason to be like, oh, well, I didn't get enough help or whatever. But he does not need an interpreter. Anyway, I'm not going to play any more of that. But if you want to see it, you can head to WUSA9's YouTube channel and watch the entire 11 minutes and 54 seconds of it. We have played it before. It's great. It's if it wasn't a murder case, I would be here with a thing of popcorn laughing at him. Hey, Jetty Star. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We're looking back on 2024. I think, yeah, one of the other ones from this year is definitely Susan Simpson. We're getting close to the end of 2024 now. I really, you know, that case is horrible. Wait, sorry, we lost microphone for a sec. That case is really horrible. Brad Simpson now charged with her murder. But another woman still not found, and I struggle with that one because one, we've never been given a definitive timeline from police. We've been given some ideas, but not what they fully believe. Although the court documents do outlay a couple of theories. I think if she's around, one, they searched that landfill, didn't find anything. They were there for like 4 days. They didn't find anything. They searched around her home. They searched in another county. They searched in bushland around areas her husband might have been, but still no Susan. Still no finding her, unfortunately, which is really, yeah, like Mapta, can't find the body. I worry the same thing happened to Susan that happened, well, that what they say happened to Mapta, which is she was cut up. Because they did find that reciprocating saw from Brad Simpson that had her DNA on it, which would suggest to anyone that can put 2 and 2 together that he used that to dismember his own wife. It's pretty horrific. Hold on, let me find something on when she originally went missing. Ah, 2 days ago. 2 days ago? What? I didn't think there was an update in this 2 days ago. Major twist. No. Don't worry about that. Trial set for February 2025 in Brad Simpson murder case over wife disappearance. Yes. Let's go to... It's going to be a busy... It's going to be a very busy first 3 months of 2025. We've got trials like every week. It's going to be extremely busy. He's set to go to trial February 12th, 2025. Let's do it. Let's go to trial. I think that's great. Great news. Get this trial done as quick as possible and get this controlling man behind bars where he deserves to be. Some of the details that came out, like there was one interaction where he snatched her phone and he tried to play it off like, oh, I'm not that type of guy. I don't care what's in the phone. Oh, but I shouldn't have done it. Yet he tried to input her passcode several times and got locked out of her phone. Doesn't sound like a guy to me who doesn't care what's inside of that phone. Sounds like a guy to me who is extremely insecure and, must know what's on his wife's phone. Otherwise, whatever happens. It is. He is a sicko. That's right. Hey, hello. Good to see you. Yeah, Brad Simpson in court. Don't you just love the Bexar County red on him? I like it. I like it a lot. There he is, a very insecure older man who couldn't handle his wife's independence and wanting to be away from his dumbass. And apparently, instead, he decided, oh, I'm going to just kill her instead because she wants to do something that I don't want her to do. And, I should kill her for that. Because apparently that's what all stupid men do. Here, trial date set February 2025. Let's go to trial. Let's see. Tears in court as slain Susan Simpson's sister. Oh my God. We'll watch a bit of this.
Tonight with the new development of the case against Brad
YouTube. Thanks, YouTube.
Brad Simpson. He was back in court today to ask a judge for permission to have contact with his children while his legal case plays out.
Simpson is facing charges in connection with the murder of his wife, Suzanne Simpson.
News 4 San Antonio's Mariah Medina was there and joins us live with more exactly on what happened in court. Mariah, good evening.
Jonathan, Mandy, Brad Simpson had been prohibited from having any contact with his children, but a judge today partially lifted that no contact order for all of his children, with the exception of the youngest, who is 5 years old.
We're going to go on the record if everybody can be quiet, please.
Prosecutors and Simpson's defense attorney had come to an agreement that Simpson's contact with his 15-year-old son would be limited to written letters that will be subject to inspection. We know his son has previously indicated he'd like to have contact with his dad. Today, we learned that Simpson's 2 adult children, however, don't feel the same way, but asked that the door be left open to have contact when they're ready. So the judge amended the no contact order to an order that provides for no harmful or injurious contact. The court left the no contact order in place for the youngest child and for Simpson's longtime business partner, James Cotter, who was indicted earlier this week for allegedly helping Simpson conceal an automatic weapon from authorities as they investigated Suzanne's disappearance.
I love that he has a friend that will go to jail for him. Hey, buddy, I've killed my wife. Come and help me and get this gun. I need you to hide the gun." And then now this guy, his buddy Cotter, is in jail as well, also on a stack of charges. April says, "Hope it starts on that date. Frustrating when they move it back." I am expecting that we'll get a bunch of legal challenges throughout January, and it'll get pushed back. It'll probably be, I don't know, June or something. It probably might not be February, because they often, defense will say they need more time, that they just came on the case, they need to build a defense, that type of thing. "Oh, we're new to the case. He just changed lawyers. We need to build a proper defense for our client. It's going to take us 8 to 12 weeks, and we need that time for an adjournment," and that kind of stuff. That happens all the time. Yeah, she was beautiful. Very pretty lady. Very pretty lady. Khaliza says, "Really sad for the kids." I mean, you saw her daughter release that statement about 8 weeks ago, lashing out at the community and other people. But when I first heard that statement, I was really mad, because I think a lot of the people in the community had tried to help, especially find her mum or donate time to these searches and things like that. And it felt a little bit offensive. And then I looked back on it again, and then I realized it's not that. It's just a kid lashing out at her mum being dead, and missing. And I realized that after, and I was like, well, that's what it really is. It's about a child who misses their parent, even though they're an adult child. They still miss their mum, and they've had this whirlwind of media around them for weeks now. So I get it. It's very, very sad. And, I don't blame her for that statement. It just, I thought the community had really tried to help their family. But at the same time, you can't take someone who is hurt that badly at what they're saying online. It's just a way of an outlet for them to somehow express themselves. So yeah, it's very sad that her daughter felt the need to write that publicly. But if it makes her feel better, so be it. If it makes her, some sort of comfort in this time, great. So sad for the 5-year-olds. Not only that, it's got a 5-year-old, a 15-year-old, and then there's the adult kids too. So they've got a large family. Yeah, mamas are the best. That's right. Rachel said, "I just can't imagine." Me either. I don't know what that would be like to have a loved family member disappear like that, and have a fairly good idea it was like my dad. I think that would be, I don't even know how you internally deal with that. That would be one of the hardest things. You'd need lots of therapy. I don't know how you reconcile that within you. It's someone you're supposed to love. They're your parent. You've known them for your entire life, obviously. And now you realize that they may have killed another person that you love very much. And it's, it'd be this internal conflict about where do loyalties lie, and where do I stand? I think it's a hard situation for anyone. But hey, let's see if we go to trial February 12th, 2025 for Brad Simpson, and hopefully we get a good result. I hope so. Maybe before then we'll find out where Susan might be. That would be nice. I think it'd be cool if we could bring her home and give her a proper burial. She can't be too far away. Judging by the timelines, if you go by the first timeline, the maximum radius around their home is like a 1-hour trip there and back. But if you do it till when police were notified the following day, that timeline is actually quite a bit further. I think it's about 4.5 hours radius around their home there and back, which expands that like almost 4.5 times the first timeline. So it makes that search area massive. I mean, 4.5 hours. You think of where you live and think of anywhere 4.5 hours you could drive to. That could be where Susan is today. So long way away from your home. Rachel says they do seem to have a loving grandmother, and his family has been very supportive of them. Yes, I have seen that. That is true. Khaliza said it's understandable why some kids end up forgiving, believing the parent who did the crime, just to be able to get through life. It may be a defense mechanism that they can't reconcile the crime that their parent did, and the only way that they're able to emotionally get through it is by just not believing it, is like a constant state of denial. We saw that in the Chad Daybell. Chad Daybell's children mostly all think that he's innocent. They think that their dad has been set up by this evil witch, and we all know that's not true at all. He is a 50%, if not more, contributor to the death, 100% contributor to the death of his own wife, and he pushed for those children to be dark and go away. So I don't know how you say he's innocent, but whatever. He is definitely a awful man. JDR says he maybe thinks his kids have information. You might be right. You might be right. Barry Morphew, I don't think he's been charged. Barry Morphew hasn't been charged a second time, has he? I don't think so. I don't think they've even brought a second murder charge against him. I don't. Am I crazy? They didn't charge him a second time, did they? Oh, hold on. No, I don't see anything. Hold on. Barry Morphew. Not since 2022. Yeah, I don't see anything. Not since the body was found. No, I don't know. When do we go to trial for Barry Morphew? When they actually build a case against Barry Morphew that's not going to fall apart under some sort of criticism or, court filings and legal counsel. That's when we get a trial for Barry Morphew. Yeah, he's free. Yeah, they found Susan, but they've not built a second case against him because they know if they bring a case and it is not airtight and then it falls apart again, they are done. They are done. There's no way they can try for a third time and bring another case. I don't even know if they will get that opportunity because his lawyer, if they were to do that a second time and then the case falls apart at the last minute, his lawyer would ask for it to be dismissed, where he can't be retried for those crimes. He would say the state is going on a fishing hunt and that this is some sort of, witch hunt sort of thing. And they're just fishing for evidence and a charge. And he'd never see a court ever again. So I think while it's disappointing and we would like to see justice for her, I think they're being awfully careful about this next time they're going to do it. Very careful. Yeah, that prosecute, they really effed up. They effed up that first time. The Europeans are about 6% of the world pop. Am I European? Do I count for that? Can I be part of the 6%? I'll be part of the 6%, sure. Hey, Mamma Mia, good to see you. Kaliza said that prosecutor was used to not being challenged, but Barry had a good, expensive lawyer. That's his right. We can't just say, oh, well, that's the reason. I mean, everyone's allowed legal representation of your own choice. So if the prosecutor did crap at their job, which I think now they've been dismissed, right? That's the legal system. Do a better job. Do your job properly. All question are my cats. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm happy about that. Has money. Well, there's a lot of people who have money that commit murders. I don't think that changes much. You still got to bring a case that someone has to have a defense against, right? So I don't know how that makes anything any different. There's heaps of them. There's heaps of people that have had $1 million lawyers. There's people that have had legal teams that are 8 deep and, costing like $25 million in the end. It shouldn't matter if the prosecution brings a solid, airtight case that they can actually demonstrate to a jury in a court. You should still be able to succeed as the prosecution. But they were just, we'll see what happens. But I would like to see justice for her too. She deserves to have her killer put in court and have these allegations put to them and the evidence put against them. Diddy has money. I found it funny what they had the other day. What'd they say? He was annoyed that his high-priced legal team had not got him out of jail yet because he was hoping to go home for Christmas. Bro, you ain't going anywhere. There's enough charges there to keep you locked up for the next 25 years. I don't think you're going anywhere for Christmas. Yes, that's right. So we'll see what happens. I hope it's not going to take another 5 years, and we get a Morphew trial eventually. One of the things I hate about the Morphew case, there's so many people out there that rubbish her memory because she was like, they try and paint her as as someone committing adultery or having an affair type of thing. They had their marital issues, but they both had marital issues. It wasn't just one-sided. And she had basically decided that the marriage was over, and she had demonstrated that to Barry. So, I mean, I don't like when people do that to her, I don't like when they try to rubbish her memory for that reason. Carliza says, "Hey Ping, how is Muffin doing today? Is he feeling better yet?" He's somewhat better today. Yesterday he had a pretty bad day. He's pretty quiet today. He likes to hide from the humans when he's not feeling well, so he's over on a couch sleeping. April B says, "I follow the Diddy case. He's not going anywhere." Yeah, he ain't going anywhere. He's going to be enjoying jail food for a little bit longer. I don't know how much longer, but a while. All right, give me 1 sec. I have to change something. 1 sec. All right, I'm glad that somehow the computer didn't crash again. Knock on wood. Thanks for that. It's been a crazy year. It really has. I don't know how many stories we read this year, how many Amber Alerts that we did. It must have been hundreds. Still a bunch of cases that will end 2024 without a resolution to. Susan Simpson is one. The one that sticks with me is definitely that one out of San Bernardino County. I still want to know why someone dumped a burning body in San Bernardino, but no one's ever reported anything on it. The Cypress house fire, the triple murder, still no resolution or anything on that. Just nothing. So, the San Bernardino one, let me just double check. Let's go back and have a look at that. Yeah, it was the 23rd of July. I don't think I ever found an update for that. And there was some further information that came out. Apparently that person was found hogtied and burned between Duffy Street and Donald Street in San Bernardino County in California. And for this to be true, the incident was confirmed to be a homicide, but no additional information was ever released, not that I could find anyway. So let me take you all the way back to July, because it's a very strange case.
Breaking news in San Bernardino, where a burned body was found in a field late last night.
KTLA 5's Carlos Herrera live on scene with the latest. Carlos, good morning.
Good morning, Chris and Megan. Officers here this morning telling me this could be a mystery case unfolding right before our eyes out here in San Bernardino. The victim, we've learned, according to investigators, is a man whose burned body was found here late last night in this field. We're in a very remote neighborhood just off the 210 freeway near Highland Avenue. You can see the yellow tape in the area, several evidence markers on the ground on both sides of the yellow tape this morning. This, of course, as the investigation continues, homicide detectives now trying to figure out how this man's dead body ended up here. Let's get you over to some pictures as this was all unfolding last night. It was around 10:30 p.m. when the police department got this call. They responded to the field near the intersection of Duffy and Donald Streets. When they got here, they discovered the abandoned and burned body of that man. He was pronounced dead on scene. They immediately launched a homicide investigation here, and at this point, very little is known about the victim. Investigators could not release his age. They don't know if he's from the area as well. Investigators try to determine what exactly happened here. There are so many unanswered questions still, including how long the man's body was here for, and most importantly, how. They don't have any suspect information, and they have confirmed they have not made any arrests.
There you go. And from July to now, no info. I don't know what this means, but wear a mask. I don't want to wear a mask. Who said I was an investigator? I don't have a badge. I don't have any badge that says cop on it or whatever. I'm good. I'm just a YouTube person. That's it. I don't claim to be anything. Marlene says you had the 4 dead people found by their relative. Yeah, in Melbourne, that they said ended up being a drug overdose. That was very strange. No charges filed in relation to that at the time, and that it just never went anywhere. They just went, oh, okay, 4 people died. Oh, it was something to do with drugs. Great. We'll do a report for the coroner. That was the end of it. April B said this is all the information they released. Yeah, that's it. Nothing since then about what happened to this particular guy. No idea why he was hogtied and found smoldering is the word I heard. Found smoldering in this particular location in San Bernardino. It sounds gang related. I don't know why you would hogtie someone in that way. It sounds almost it sounds like something like the cartels do to their victims. I'm not saying it is, just saying it sounds familiar. But yeah, very strange. Those 4 victims, I don't think we ever. I mean, there's been so many cases. We had the 95-year-old woman that was tasered. We did that earlier this year. The 4 people. Yeah, 4 people. Synthetic opioid detected in the bodies of the 4 people found in Melbourne. They were found in this home by a family member, and it was the bodies of a 17-year-old, 2 men aged 32 and 37, and a 42-year-old woman were discovered at the property in Broadmeadows in Melbourne's north in the early hours of June 25th, which is our winter over here. Very cold in June. They say police said at the time they suspected drugs were involved in their death. On Thursday, they said preliminary tests confirmed the presence of a synthetic opioid in the system of all 4 people. It's very similar to that Kansas City death in the snow investigation. They said that while forensic testing remains ongoing, no presence of fentanyl had been detected. Emergency services had been called to the Bicknell Court home just before 2 a.m. on the 25th of June, where the group were found dead. The deaths were not believed to be suspicious. It was protonitazine was the drug that they thought it might be after the health department in Victoria released a alert cautioning people from taking it. They said it was 100 times more potent than heroin, and they had found it in cocaine samples being sold in Melbourne at the time of this particular death. So protonitazine. They said recent overdoses due to the toxicity of that drug in the Melbourne area drug supply. They say it's a potent synthetic opioid that can be up to 100 times stronger than heroin. There you go. There's the Department of Health notification that they put out around the same time as those 4 people were found dead. So maybe they took a drug that they thought was something completely different and ended up succumbing to that toxicity. Sounds like maybe it was like they thought it was coke and it ended up being this opioid. They had way too much and unfortunately OD'd before anyone could find them and resuscitate them. I don't think so. I think, it might have like street names or something. But I can, oh my God, there was another one. I didn't even know this. Yeah. So the Victorian Department of Health put out another one in October saying protonitazine sold as ketamine. We talked about ketamine the other day. A yellow powder containing the potent opioid has been missold as ketamine in Melbourne. Interesting, because we had 4 people die earlier, possibly from something they didn't understand. Yeah, this is interesting. People who are expecting to use ketamine may not know how to recognize and respond to opioid overdose. Someone might appear to be entering a K-hole. It's a dissociative state brought on by higher doses of ketamine, but could actually be showing signs of opioid overdose. They're saying signs of opioid overdose to look out for include tiny pupils, breathing slowly, and reduced consciousness. Yeah. They say using the protonitazine or other opioids with depressants such as alcohol, GHB, or benzodiazepines increase the risk of overdose risk. So if you poly drug use, you would have a much higher chance of overdose and potential death. But even then, single drug use would also put you at risk if you use this particular drug, even if you weren't sure that that's what you had. So, oh yeah, here we go. So many different drug alerts in Melbourne. Some people might get the wrong idea about this city. Apparently, there's another one here. 25C NBOME and 4FA sold as 2CB. Interesting. We talked about 2CB. There was a case earlier this year where it was sold as 2C. So we've done that one earlier this year too. We've done a bunch of drug cases this year too. It wasn't AstraZeneca? No, it wasn't. Hold on, guys. Yeah, yes, it was the pink cocaine or yes, it was that one. The 2C case. Gotta know your supplier. Gotta test your stuff with a reagent kit. That's what you do. Costs you nothing. Costs you about $100 to get a reagent kit. You'll never not know what you're taking ever again. Be smart if you're a drug user. Don't be dumb and just be like, oh, let me snort this stuff. Oh, it smells pretty good. Let me just take like 4 points at once. Don't do that. Spend a bit of your money on a reagent test kit. April B says they're everywhere these days. No location is immune to them anymore. You would think, living on a giant island that is surrounded by water, we may be able to stop some of these things coming in. We literally live on a giant thing surrounded by the Pacific and Indian Oceans. But no. They still get in somehow. It still happens. I think that's almost it. We've gone through a bunch of different cases. Trinity Bostic, Mopta Cufflebot, Susan Simpson. There's been a bunch from Australia. I think if we average this, we did 450 shows this year. 450. We do roughly like 5 stories a day. We did something like 2,250 different cases roughly in this 12-month period, because we used to do 2 shows a day. It may even be higher than that. So over 2,000 different stories we covered from around the world, from England to Europe to America to Australia. There's one I haven't mentioned, and I'm not going to for a reason I'll explain another time. But there was one that we watched a couple of months ago that I'm still working on. Hopefully, maybe. We'll see. Gayla says, I see it getting stopped by customs all the time. Do you? Do you oversee them? And you're like, oh my God, they stopped it again. And you're like, oh, I'm going to take note of that. No, that doesn't happen? Oh, how do you watch them then? Do you have like a bug in their office and you're like watching hack CCTV or something? Good stuff. Yeah, it's amazing how many we've been able to cover. April B says you're busy. It's going to be a busy 2025, I promise. Even busier. Chid No More says, never ketamine for me. I would need infusions for CRPS that I have. My friend died days after an infusion session. It can cause a psychotic break in some people. I didn't know that. Forson's mom said, although mislabeled, none of the numbers would allow through the medical system, not just from illegal sales. What? Although mislabeled, none of the numbers would allow through the medical. I mean, do you mean you can't get it through the medical system? I wouldn't have thought so. I think this would all be illicit, import or whatever. It's not like they just imported it and changed the label. Rachel says, I considered that. Interesting. I didn't know that you would be able to get it for that. Yeah, I hope everyone has a great New Year's. I'm still not 100% sure what we're doing for New Year's, but we're definitely going to watch the potato drop in Idaho because it's amazing. Why would you not want to do that? And we'll check out Disneyland again. We'll have a look at Park Pass TV, the nice people over there. And yeah, we've got a lot of things to do. It's been fun to look back on a bunch of different stories that we did this year. It really has. And I don't know what 2025 is going to bring us, but there is unlimited possibility. It'd be nice if we didn't have any stories because that means no one died, but chances of that happening probably pretty thin. Let me just do one last update on this daily. Let me see if they got any other update on that plane crash before I let you all go for the night. They're still saying 179 presumed dead. I'll show you this little video. There's a little video in the corner here. I'm sure you've all seen it by now. That plane trying to land without a landing gear. They said they hit a flock of birds, but I would like someone to demonstrate how a bird strike can cause loss of landing gear. I mean, an engine, sure. A windshield, sure. Puncture through the skin of the aircraft, maybe. But a landing gear, how does that work? Did it hit all of the landing gears, including the first one, and somehow they didn't work anymore? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I'm also not an aircraft crash investigator, so I don't know. Maybe a pilot would know. That could tell us. You can see how quickly this death toll rises within an hour. It's 2 hours later and now it's 179, but 2 hours ago they were sharing a number of 85. That has now jumped to only 2 survivors, and the rest of the people are considered deceased. They're saying rescuers searching for a black box recorder of doomed aircraft, and they're saying that'll hold key details about the final moments of that particular aircraft. They say pair of crash survivors on doomed flight were crew members. Interesting that 2 crew members survived, but no passengers. That is interesting. We'll find more on this. It's going to be a dark day in South Korea. They'll go through a period of mourning, and I'm sure there'll be a large national investigation over this particular crash. The footage is brutal. It just skids across the tarmac and just hits into a wall and goes into a giant fireball. It's hard to see how many people would survive that crash. So oh, be careful with that in the future, my friend. I Hate Morning says at SeaTac Airport, Seattle. Oh, you say that about Seattle Airport. We had the missing little girl earlier this year. The one whose dad took her to Mexico with the new girlfriend. That was a very interesting case that we followed for a long time. Do I support pregnant drinking? Why would I? Where would that come from? Yeah, obviously I do. I tend to drink all the time when I'm pregnant, and I find it very relaxing. I also do hard drugs when I'm pregnant as well. I find that is very supportive during my pregnancies. All the ones I've had so far. It's a strange question. Mama Mia says, sending healing vibes to you, Sean. I hope so too, buddy. Hope you feel better. Rachel says, cheetah moth's a brutal disease. I hope you guys found a better treatment than infusions of ketamine. Sounds awful. Let's see. Yeah, all right. All right. I think we're done today. I think we're done. I'm going to let you go. It's almost 1 a.m. 1 a.m. in the morning? 2 a.m. in the morning? Sometime ungodly hour in the morning. But I will be back tomorrow. Then we're going to have a massive New Year's Eve party later this week. I think I'm heading over to Web Sleuths and hanging out with them for a few hours. We may come back here and do more on this channel after their party has finished. They're doing a fundraiser for Othram Research. So 1:43 a.m. in the morning, very early, very early. It's the holidays. You can stay up late. You can stay up, all right? Ping gives you permission to stay up all night. I Hate Morning says, I'm having minor surgery in January on a part I haven't had yet remodeled. Just think of it as an upgrade. It may work a bit better again after, depending on what part. Kaliza says 10:43 here. I'm happy for my West Coast people. Of the ketamine coma, can't say I've ever heard of it. Can't say I've ever done it either. All right. Good night, everyone. It's been a great look back on 2024. I'm sure that over the coming days before we reach 2025, everyone will bring up even more stories that we talked about this year. We talk about so many per week. My mind often forgets by the next week, like the 50 stories we did the week before. And it really has to be a unique story for me to be able to remember it. So the ones that I've remembered throughout the year have either been very strange or just big cases that we've followed quite frequently. Some of the smaller ones I've forgotten about, unfortunately. But I'm sure we'll get more and more recommendations as we get closer to the 31st. Four Sons Mom says, I worked at SCL Airport for quality control issue. SCL deputy walked around the tarmac waiting to see if anyone would stop us. That's an interesting security ethical dilemma. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to see if anyone would go out of their way to take initiative to investigate and stop someone. Very interesting. I like that. Yes, good night, everyone. I hope Muffin feels better tomorrow too. Actually, wait 1 second, and then I'll let you go. 1 second. By the way, I want to say thank you to Lisa for the donation. It's very kind of you. She says for being awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. All those donations really do help. And thank you. I can't see them because we rebooted like 4 times. Let me see if I can go back. But thank you to Danny and was it Lisa who did one too? Thank you to Danny for the 2 gifting of memberships and Lisa for gifting one as well. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow night. We'll be back tomorrow night for more true crime. Who knows what 2025 is going to bring? Look at the crazy stories we did this year, like 6 people found in San Bernardino desert just dead in the middle of nowhere. And we did people who fell from balloons and crazy other things. So you never know. You never know. Yeah, I feel better, Sean. I'm sorry that you're not feeling very well. That's terrible. Watch out for your potatoes. Don't lick your potatoes. You know those dirty ones you get? That's what Sean did. That's why he's in hospital. You're supposed to clean them with a brush or like water, buddy. You don't lick them. You don't lick them clean. You're not supposed to eat the dirt. You're supposed to wash them under the tap and then peel them or something like that. Gayla says, thank you. Enjoy your evening. I will. It's about 6 p.m. It's almost dinner time. I'm going to go eat. Good night, everyone. Have a great night. Peace out. Bye.